We are live. Thank you for joining me on my channel. This is your boy James, and welcome to Watch Your Mouth Reviews, where I'm here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. It is not going to happen this video, but that's okay. We'll live to fight another day. Joining me is my co-host, Mrs. Beth. I'll say what's up to her.
Hey y'all! I'm so sorry. I was muted doing all types of things. I hope everybody likes the video, subscribes to the channel. James works hard at the content, and he's about to have surgery, so be nice to him. Subscribe.
Yes, and I know a lot of people thought I was having my surgery last week. I was supposed to, but apparently the hospital never received my budget. So they had to move my surgery to this Wednesday. I'm not looking forward to it. I am scared out of my mind, y'all. I am so, because this is my very first surgery. I don't know what to expect. I am afraid to be put under anesthesia. I am afraid of it all. Hi, Shani. Thank you for being here. So please lift me up in prayer. Please lift me up in anything that, that will keep me moving. Hopefully, I don't lose a lot financially because I am scared about that as well. Not working full time. It is crazy. You did not. We'll be doing that next. So you did not miss RHOA, y'all. RHOA will be next. I wanted to get them out the way because RHOA was boring. They could have kept that third part. They didn't discuss nothing. They didn't talk about nothing. I don't really care. The only thing that made that episode pop was Charles Oakley. He was the real MVP of the episode. Other than that, I ain't got much to say on Real Housewives of Atlanta. So that's going to be a very short video, by the way. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for Love and Marriage Huntsville. So they're not going to be jokes. More so, it's going to be some we're going to have some conversations that need to be had about this episode because there was a lot of problematic things that I saw. So we start the episode with Ken and Trisha meeting up with Maurice and Kimmy. They go to this cute little, I don't know if it was a dinner spot. I don't know what this was, but I definitely want to go to Huntsville to try it. It was very cute in there. They're talking, Ken is bringing them up to speed about Marquez and Trisha's relationship and how he and Marquez actually put aside their differences, had a great conversation, and, seemed to be in a better spot. And he's trying to actually push Trisha to kind of mend that as well. And Trisha's all like, look, I already know what I'm dealing with. I already know my demon. I am not going to go through all of this. I already know what's about to happen. Just like the other day when he came by the house, he walked in unannounced. He got into it with my little friend. And I'm looking at Trisha like, your little friend got into it with him and tried to put it in her chest. But that's neither here nor there. But I just wanted to correct her on that. And it was just kind of like Maurice and Kimmy are just there. Just there because I didn't care about all of this. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about the whole situation with Kim and Trisha updating Maurice and Kimmy on Marquez?
Oh, child, I thought we was in Housewives of Atlanta live. Oh my God, the way my brain was just caught and spun. Okay, repeat the question. I'm so sorry. I thought
So
we were in RHOA.
we were talking about the opening scene with Ken and Trisha meeting up with Maurice and Kimmy. They're bringing them up to speed about Marquez and talking about the whole Marquez walking into the house unannounced and getting into it with a friend. Trisha's not really here for no kumbaya with Marquez.
Oh, okay. No, no,
Yeah.
no. I remember that. Let me tell you this. I was irritated with Ken this entire episode. It started when he said in the confessional, when commenting on this scene with him and his dumbass girl, Trish, he made these his kids, but he has to understand this is my family now. Nigga, you sound stupid. Like, as much as Ken sounds stupid, and I know that he has this pattern of dating women like this, Trish is the one I'm looking at more and more and more and more, even though I've been looking at her with the side eye, because I'm looking at Trish and I'm like, to me, she is the problem. If Marquez wants to make peace, even if it's BS, for the sake of the kids, why can't you entertain it? But she just seems like she's always ready to argue. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, you so mad at this man, but you won't divorce him.
Did who get married and we missed what? That lady is still married to that other man.
She's not divorced. She's
Because they're
wasting the taxpayers'
still
money.
not divorced, and they've been stopped filming a long time ago. That
Right.
is his family. You just decide to finesse. I'm trying to figure out because a lot of people made the point that because Ken is in the house, that is his family, and I'm just like,
Ken, when Ken is in the house and he's interacting with the kids and Trish and Marquez is not around, that's his house, his family. When Marquez is around, that's still Ken's family, but that's also Marquez's family. But to make it seem like Marquez is just not part of the family because he's not in the house, which is what Ken is doing, is not okay. If you're going to be with a woman that's married, that's not quite divorced yet, step aside. That's what most men would do. Step back, shut the hell up, and watch and see how she moved. Because if he did that, then he would see that this lady is not divorcing that man anytime soon.
no, not in the slightest. And that's what I'm trying to understand. It's like, what are you not seeing from this, sir? Like, what is not clicking for you? Like, to me, Trisha lies a lot, but also she's passive aggressive too, which kind of makes me feel like I don't see, and that's the thing. It's hard to really pinpoint the issues with her because you could kind of see it being a flip of a coin. I can see why she's doing what she's doing because it is a security blanket, but at the same time, it's also manipulative.
I don't feel like her and Ken even have the energy that people in a relationship have. I just don't even see the chemistry. They're always spending time talking about what Marquez don't do, even prior to him ever coming on the show. But
Right.
we don't really see them like interacting without conversations involving her husband. So I don't even feel like them two are like really good for each other like that. I feel like they just like to have sex with each other, drink protein shakes, and go to the gym. I don't feel like it's no deeper, and I'm not even trying to be funny. But in the words of my husband, that is that man's wife. He paid that fee to the courthouse. Like, they're not divorced. They're not even legally separated. Like, stop.
If you like it, I love it. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. But we move on. Martell meets up with Destiny at this very odd inspired furniture store. I'm not trying to talk about these people establishment, but the furniture was odd. So apparently Martell is moving Ariane, their son and her daughter, into one of his investment properties. Um, and he's filling Destiny in on moving in, and she goes, "Oh, you serious? Oh, is it like that? You moving her in?" And he's like, "Yeah, she's proven to me time and time again that she ready for that ring. She wifey material." And I'm sitting there looking at Martell like, "Okay, Martell, if you say so." I mean, ladies, let this be a lesson to you that once a man calls you a peasant, that shouldn't be the man you marry. I'm just gonna put that out there now. I'm just because he did that to appease his wife. The one that he was cheating on when it came to you. He was referring you to a peasant to appease his wife. And now that they're not together, now he wants to come and get you as if you were the scraps, the leftovers, because he ain't got no other option, so he coming back to you. Okay. Because there's no way in hell. There's no way in hell Martell's gonna come to me now that everything's all said and done. Now she's not on a TV show that you and her co-produce and everything. Now that she's not available here, now you want to come to me and tell me that I'm marriage material and I'm all of these things. But before I was a peasant, I was a scum, I was whatever it is that he was saying.
Well, James, you knew the bitch wasn't smart when she decided to lay up with a married man off of the birth control and didn't use a doggone condom. What the hell did you expect?
I'm
And
just
she's sticking beside him in his tight ass pants that be flooding, smiling in pictures, just thinking that she has won a prize. What does she do for a living? Because I feel like Martell like to go leeching off of women. So if anybody watches this show called The Shy, there's this character Shad, played by the guy who voiced Simba in The Lion King, and his character got out of jail and just been going from house to house, woman to woman, bitch to bitch. I'm sorry, that's what it's given that Martell is doing. He just needs some security and a plate. Because I feel like his mama probably be cussing him out about Melody when the camera's not rolling.
I, I just feel like
Or they're doing it for the show because he don't have shit
I
else
feel
to
like that's
talk
what it is.
about.
I feel like that's what it is. I feel like they're doing this for storyline. She still has not made her appearance on the show yet. They're in episode 2. You would have thought she would have been in the first episode, but I digress. But yeah. So that's basically what he told Destiny, and then he brings up, this whole situation with Lance. And I told y'all I don't bit more believe the storyline with Lance than anything else that Destiny's put in front of us. So I'm not really gonna talk about that. Lance had a
I
baby.
don't believe Destiny and Martell's friendship is real. I
What do you mean?
believe these two have a friendship out of convenience. I don't
Well, that's
care
odd.
for I don't care for either of them. She seems to be using him to make herself look like she has some sort of a moral compass, even though we know she be scamming and coming after men who make chicken. I can't. I just can't. And then Martell, he just want to look like he listened to somebody. And
Well,
who better than a
obviously,
woman?
outside of the Fletchers and Destiny, no one else was gonna film with him.
Nope.
So I feel like, yeah, this is definitely why we're keeping Destiny on the show because
Get
what is
rid of
Destiny?
Martell and Destiny. Cause no shade to Destiny. She don't need to be on this show. Talk about she had a real estate license for 19 years. Girl, bye. I
I'm still on a loop with that one because I was like, so Destiny, you mean to tell me that you had a real estate license this entire time, that you were on government assistance, that you was over there getting, Mel sending you $6,000. I think that's what Mel said, $6,000, and you over here doing all of this, and then allegedly going to jail for scamming. Allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly because I don't remember the charge, but you doing all of that, and you mean to tell me you had the license to hustle and make you some commission checks? You already on a public platform that was inspired by real estate and development, and you mean to tell me you? Never mind, y'all. What do I know? What do I know? But that's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know who's paying for this because allegedly, word on the curb is he still ain't passed the test for his builder's license.
Oh, so he good with his hands, but he's stupid.
Yeah, that's the
Mm.
word on the curb is allegedly he ain't passed that builder's license test. Allegedly. So, hmm.
Well, try again. Them state boards be
Well, in
difficult.
Alabama, it's an open book test. In Alabama, in Phoenix, it's not. But in Arizona, it's not. But in Phoenix, and now, I mean, Arizona, it's not open book. But in Phoenix, I mean, Alabama, it is. It's open book. I can't even say it right because I'm so
How is
flabbergasted.
it a test if it's open book? How do you know that people know what they're doing if they're referring to a book while answering the question saying that they are certified to do what they do?
I'm hearing that in Alabama, allegedly, the builder's license test is an open book test.
Maybe that's why it's taken Marceau and Tisha about 10 years, half a decade to build a house. Maybe that's why.
We're gonna get
Open
into
book.
them in a minute. But
Open book.
that was pretty much it. As I said, I don't believe Destiny Lance's storyline. I don't believe that at all. I believe that was just a very convenient way to make her some, pertinent points on this show. And I don't care about Martell and whether or not he marries Ariana or not, because regardless of what, she's a glutton for punishment. Because there's no way I would have stuck around. There's just no way. So it is what it is. So we're gonna move on unless you have something you want to add. Miss Best has not spoken, so she ain't got nothing to add. Let's move on. So we get a little cute little scene, well, cute-ish in a way, of Tisha and her son driving on a street. Apparently, he is graduating, or maybe has. I don't know if he's graduated already, but he wants to go to Michigan State. And Tisha is already feeling the mom anxiety of her baby going away. So she was just saying that, she wants him to be close to her. Like she wants to be able to get in the car and drive wherever he is. So she says when he goes up to Michigan, she was going to buy her a little townhouse. So that way she could be close by and she wants to see him. And it was like,
Stop recycling this tired storyline, please. I see this on reality show after reality show when women's kids go off to college. I am not negating or ignoring the feelings that she has, that are probably valid about her kid going to college. Talk about your fucked up marriage, lady. Let the boy go to school and be away from you. There's clearly a reason he wants to get the hell away from Alabama. What's going on in that house?
Well, no,
Where
because
did Marcel sleep last night?
well, apparently he really does have favor towards his father because he was just saying that he is going to miss the dynamics between him and his father. So obviously, that's not really an issue. I think more so I think to me, he gave really awkward in front of the camera, and he gave really nervous, and he's been on the show since he was a kid. So the fact that he's still giving that, I don't think he wants to be a part of the show like Jalen is. Like, let's use that as an example. Like, as far as Jalen appearing on the show every now and then, I don't think he wants to do that and take up a storyline like Jalen did at one point and all that. I don't think he wants to do that. I think he's awkward in front of the camera and probably wants to be away, while they film the show, because apparently the show ain't going nowhere no time soon. So, you know, we don't get nothing to admit.
Right. So, like, I feel like kids on TV across any network, let them be kids. If they want to get in front of the camera and, be a part of it, fine, let them do that. But if they don't show interest, then don't film with him. Don't try to impose on his life. Talk about that husband, girl.
I agree. 110%. I agree. So we're gonna move it on along over to what was the next scene? I'm over here now. I'm trying to go off of memory here. Oh, Marquez meets up with Maurice. And when Marquez meets up with Maurice, he's talking, about his version of the story because Maurice wants to hear Marquez's side since he's heard Ken and Trisha's. And Marquez lets it out the bag that, yeah, I talked with Ken, he reached out to me and we were on the phone for 3 hours. Now, here's the thing, y'all. I know I was joking about last episode. Like, I'm sorry. I said that if I didn't know any better, I would have said that Ken wanted that man versus wanted Trisha. Ken, in order to make my point not valid, why the fuck are you on the phone with this man for 3 hours? What could y'all possibly have to talk about for that long if that really did happen? I just want to know. Because there's no way I'm in a dynamic with somebody.
My husband got, like, there's this one guy named T who calls him, and then he's always on the phone for like an hour. And my husband looks so drained when he gets off of the phone
Right.
with this man. And he's like, I do not talk on the phone like that. Like, I feel like that's something I would do, girls would do. Like, if you got a bestie, that makes sense. But to be on the phone for 3 hours
With
with
your
your
girlfriend's
wife's
husband.
with your wife's current nigga, and if you look at it from the other side, with your girl's husband,
Yes.
when every time his name comes up, Tris gets to talking real quick and stuttering real fast. Like, what? What were y'all talking about for 3 hours?
Right.
Now I see what James see, and I'm questioning Ken's earring. I said what I said.
I'm questioning it too because when he said 3 hours, I was like, wait,
The fuck
what
are we
was y'all
talking about for
talking
3 hours?
about for 3 hours? Like, the baby ain't in dance. The baby only doing dance, right? And then the boys graduate. What do y'all have to talk about?
COVID is over. You could go outside. Just go to dinner.
Like,
If that's the case, if you go talk for 3 hours, y'all could have went to the local Chili's, Applebee's,
for real,
got
I had a
you.
drink if that's the case. Like, what the hell are we on the phone for? But he talks to Maurice, and Maurice is asking questions, and he, brings up that he still may be in love with Trish. She goes, "No, I always will love Trish, but I'm not in love with Trish. After talking with Ken for so long, I see why Trish loves him because he reminds Marquez of her father." And I said, interesting, very interesting, enough. And he said that he contested the divorce, and the reason why they're still married is because she put on the paper that they have no minor children. Now, I know that he did an interview with Queen Sheba, and I think that she looked up the records and saw that there was no minor children put on the document at the time that that interview had happened. Now I don't know from that interview to the scene, the last scene, when that timeline was, but I know at that time she did look it up, and then there was no minor children put on the divorce document. At the time that they filed. So, hey Shana, thank you so much for being here. I miss you. I meant to tell you about my surgery. I told you about that. Well, y'all shout out to Shana. Subscribe to her channel. Here she is.
Support
We love you.
everybody black. It's free.
Right, please. So he then said that he gave Trish to Ken, which I felt was a very cringe moment. I'm like, ooh, why do you feel like that, sir? Marquez, that was toxic as hell. Why would you say that?
You
Like,
know what? My husband brought up a good point when this was playing because he was kind of looking like, what the hell is she watching? I feel like with Trish and Marquez, like they're both fighting each other for control because nothing that they say makes sense. Nothing that they say adds up. None of it makes sense. I'm
it
tired
does.
of
It was just such a cringe moment because why do you feel like you gave her to that man? Like the only thing that made sense in my mind, because that saying how you build up another person for somebody else. Like maybe that's what he meant, but he didn't say that, so I can't even put that into context. But it was a cringe. But that whole conversation was cringe because Maurice was giving him guidelines about how lawyers will drain everybody's accounts until there's nothing left and for a judge to make a decision. And then he politely tells, because Maurice told them since they both don't have lawyers, y'all need to get lawyers. And he asked Maurice, well, do you practice that? He goes, no, that ain't my practice. I said, Maurice, what kind of lawyer are you? Exactly.
I'm
What kind
just
of lawyer are you?
wondering why Maurice is still here. I
I'm not
don't I don't get it. Him and Kimmy, I used to like Kimmy, but after the way they handled that DUI, I'm like, yeah, they can go. It's a hard pass for me.
it was just like he must be one of the lawyers that just look at paperwork and just study cases. There are those kind of lawyers that just study cases that don't actually practice like going to courts and actually taking on their actual cases. They just look at old cases and just makes a research and development thing for companies. I mean I get it. That's a good paycheck too, but it was just funny because I was like, oh yeah, you made sure you quickly put that in, you nip that in the bun. Like I do not practice that kind of law. So that's. Is there any other thing you want to add to that before we go?
Absolutely not, brother man.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next scene. So we go over to Scott Manor, the plot that Tisha and Marcel are building their, I guess, whatever is going to be their home.
Who gonna
Because
be in it? The boy done run off to school. The other kids is getting bigger. By the time that this house is finished, I'm gonna be applying for my AARP card at the rate they moving.
I mean, they put concrete foundation, and then they had a pillar. I can't tell how many platforms the house is going to be. I can't even tell you the material that's going to be there. But Tisha pulls up and she brings the kids, and they all put on hard hats, and she goes, "Oh, Marcel, that wasn't there last time, and oh, you did this," and I'm like, Tisha. From one end of the plot to the next, you could see it clear across that he ain't did much. So stop it, please. But whatever it looks like, I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. But they talk about him having all these projects, and she wants her broker firm to be finished first. If we can prioritize that to be finished first, that's what she wants. And so they show us the flashback of it and everything, and he's like, okay, well, we'll get that done. And then she's looking around, she goes, ooh, see, and my mama room is gonna be right here. And he goes, oh, no, 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 Wanda ain't finna have no room. She gonna be, if she has a room, it's gonna be way on the other end of the lot. And I said, Marcel really don't like that lady. And to some extent, Wanda doesn't have boundaries, so I get it. But at the end of the day, I don't know. Mrs. Best, how do you feel about that scene?
About their building of that home?
Yeah, that building of the home, Wanda's room being way across the other end of the lot, and his priorities in building.
The way he talk about Wanda, though I can't blame him. But
That's
the
what I said.
way
It's
he,
hard for me to
but
really. That's what I
but
said. It's
then,
hard for me to be
but
like,
like on a serious note, like I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I know my husband don't like my mama, but he won't let the words come out his mouth. But he also will never deny it. He laughing in the background right now because I know from the moment he met her, he's like, "This is a lot." So I just feel like you can feel how you feel about your in-law, but I think you also have to like be cognizant of like how your spouse feel. I don't like how he talk about Wanda, and I do not like Wanda. But I'm like, Marcel, this lady make your life so miserable, but then you give her a room in the house, but then you go put her on the side. He just always poking the bear. I'm tired of it. Good for them on the house. I think it's nice that they're getting it, but I want them to speed up building this house. They said since 2019 or 2020 or something.
yeah,
5 fucking years ago. What the hell's taking so long?
it's given. We gotta wait for the checks from the show. But you didn't hear that from me. That's allegedly.
That's okay if they do. That would make them more
The
relatable.
way
Hell,
they
give
still
us
had to do
something
it.
real.
Listen, Sheree took how long it took her to build She by Sheree? The what is it called? Chateau Sheree? It took her what 5-6 years to build that house?
Oh no, it took longer than that.
I don't know. I
It
knew it
took
was
her
longer
a
than
long
5 years. I know that. It was longer than 5 years. So, you know,
time.
I'm just saying, listen, Sheree had to wait for checks from the show too to build her house. So we get it, y'all. And I wish y'all would just be upfront, like, look, we gotta wait for these checks to build this house up. So, hey, because Sheree was driving the same Porsche from season 4. So I mean, come on.
You will never let her live that damn car down.
No, I'm not. I'm not because I hate when people perpetrate, but then try to repaint the same car you had from season 4 to season 12, and you act like we wasn't gonna notice that was the same damn car.
Hell,
Okay,
I want to know who her mechanic is. Let me get
me
his
too.
number.
That was a Porsche of all cars. So, okay, she made sure to get the oil changes and all of that maintenance on that car, like to make it last. That's how you know. That made me want to buy a Porsche because the
Holy
fact that
shit,
she had
that-
that long, yeah.
Let me behave. Oh, please.
I'll tell you, Shana said at this point I would hire Martell over Marceau. At least it would be built in a timely manner.
It's always the people who ain't got no licensure that'll get the job done and
Yeah,
right. And right, because that's all they got is word of mouth.
exactly, exactly. It's when they does it. It's been long. Oh wow, almost 10 years. Damn.
Damn.
this
2017. How
place
old was I
better
in
look like
2017?
this house better look like nothing Alabama has ever seen throughout the entire state. This house better look so spectacular. My mouth gonna fall to the floor, literally. I better be so impressed with this house that I'm telling you, I want to go to Alabama and go buy it.
I hope they put some trees in there though, because I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm from California and bougie, but the view, I was not impressed. They need some
Yes, let's
trees.
like the video, y'all. Like up the video, subscribe to my channel, especially if you like what you're hearing. So we're gonna move on, y'all, to the last scene because I ain't gonna talk about anything in between because I don't really care. Yeah, because didn't nothing else happen. The last scene. So Ken and Trish are preparing for Marquez to come over so they can have a conversation. And in the midst of that, Trisha decided to invite her friend Sharon, who had the attitude last episode when Marquez walked up in the house. So Marquez, once again, walks in. He knocked first and then opened the door. And I said, Marquez, why do you let yourself in these people's home like this? I get we're in a production, and production probably told him to walk in. I said this last week too. I don't feel like he just walked in just to walk in. I feel like production told him that it was okay to go in, and I hate that we don't realize that they're on like a lot of society don't realize we're on a reality TV show, and that's usually how these things work. And it's to get a reaction out of Trish to film up a scene. It's called producing. That's how this works. But anywho, he walks in, and they make a reference about, oh, he just walks in and everything like that, and I'm just like, here we go with the attitude and popping off. So, they begin talking, and, Kim, reassures him that, they want to go ahead and move forward and, everything of that. And he wants to make sure that Trisha and Marquez try to get into a better place, for the kids and everything. Um, at this moment, as they're talking, um, Sharon comes to the door, and Trish goes and opens the door, and Marquez stands up and he goes, "Hi, I want to reintroduce myself. I'm Marquez," and she reintroduced herself, and she actually had some sense this time because she actually, didn't meet him with no energy or anything. He offered her a seat and then said, "Would you like something to drink?" As if it was his house. And I said, Marquez, it's hard to defend you when you do goofy shit like this. It's hard to defend this. It's hard to defend this kind of behavior. You can't offer the lady no drink and it's not your house. What is you doing? He said, "Can I get something to drink too? I'm thirsty."
He's marking his territory because he ain't finished, and he knows she ain't finished, but they not gonna admit that or say that on camera. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. And I know he said this in general. I know that this is what happened, but for the sake of the show, they're gonna say that he just walked in. They knew he was coming to the house once again. He had a mic on. You knew yeah, we know, but this it's producing, and it's a storyline. So we got to push the envelope a little forward.
I do want
So
Trish to put some color in her house if that's her real house. It's very beige. I'd love some color. That's
I
all.
want a microwave that matches too. If you know what I'm talking about. If you know what I'm talking about, that it irritates me.
Yep.
It irritates me
Yep.
looking at the kitchen, looking at
Her
that
house looks
energy
like
space.
it looks like the decorations that you used to see in like Montgomery Wards, Sears,
Right.
Pennies. Like it just bothers me. Add some color, girl.
Yeah. So as they're breaking it down about boundaries and everything. And this is the comment right here that got me because, he's saying that he blames Trish. Marquez blames Trish for not setting boundaries when they first started dating. And it was like, Marquez, damn, I can't defend that because at the end of the day, you left, sir. So if she got somebody new, that's not up for her to set boundaries. Now that you came back and she got somebody. So I can't agree with that. I'm sorry, y'all. But where Ken lost me is when he's saying these may be your kids, but this is my family. Now, it may be true in a sense, but that's not something you tell a man about his current family. If we really want to put stuff in perspective, that's still his wife that you have, that your leg is, that her leg is on top of you. That's still his wife. She's committing adultery right now, even though they don't live in the same house, according to that statement. So I just didn't think it was a fair comment to make. I just didn't. I feel like to me, you overstepped your boundaries with that statement alone. And for Marquette, and it was funny because I looked at Sharon's face. Sharon said, "Ooh, wrong road," because it was. He didn't have to do that. He wouldn't. I would have let Ken have it if they were divorced. Ken gonna see because I was looking at Trisha's disposition as they were going back and forth and seeing her smirk and seeing all of this, it was kind of like a part of me feels like she likes this.
She
She
loves it.
likes
Let
she
me
likes
tell you this. I
being
speak for every fucking woman out there. When you are done, you are done. You gonna make sure that paper gets signed. She's not done. She enjoys it. That's why she was sitting there with her feet on him, acted a certain type of way, and that's why he started to mark his territory. The problem is they behaving like some damn wild animals in a special, and I'm sick of it. The whole thing like went on longer than a Tyler Perry scene that should have ended a long time ago. The
right.
scene did not need to be this long. For one, what was the point of it? Two, why was the girl there, the friend? Like, why is Ken involved? Like, and if we go back to last season, his friend that came on with him was like, why are you so involved? Like, nobody seems to agree with what Ken is doing. What Ken should be doing if he play his position appropriately. If you really care about the kids and you care about your so-called family and you want to be there, then shut the fuck up, put your cigarette out, and take care of your family quietly. But also stay woke and pay attention to the fact that the lady's not working to get a divorce. Like, why has nobody lawyered up? It looked like they got a nice house and can afford a small retainer fee. I'm sure they got a little $1,500 for a little cheap divorce attorney somewhere. Like, I don't understand why they continue to do this. And then they make it seem like they have small kids that they have to like heavily co-parent, but the daughter is like an older kid. The son is way older. So I'm like, there's no reason for them to even be interacting like this unless they just want to for the show or they're not done with each other.
Right. Exactly. And that's where I'm getting at. So, you know, Marquez brings up the divorce and pretty much says that in the divorce paperwork, Trish did not put that she had minor children. So Trish gets all riled up and she goes, oh, I'm going to show you. So she goes and gets her paperwork and she gives it to him. And once she gives it, she tries to show him, but he's not seeing it. So she gives it to Sharon. And Sharon reads it off that the kids are listed there. And as I said, she may have just had changed that because I don't know when that Queen Sheba interview happened between that time and this scene like that, but she must have gotten that change for that to be the updated paperwork because it probably wasn't the last time he checked. Who knows? I don't know directly how that type of situation because I didn't divorce with children, so I don't know what that looks like. But at the same time, you do get an update. It's usually mailed to you. You do get an update if something changes, like an address change, or something employment change, something changes that affects the divorce matter. You do get an updated copy. They mail it to you a lot of the time, or you can go and pick it up and get your copy at the city clerk's office if your spouse told you, "Hey, I made an update to our divorce. You need to go get your copy." They're mailing you one. It is what it is. So I don't know when that happened, but it infuriates Ken. And when I tell y'all, I was like, bruh, and I'm gonna say this again, and I'm gonna try to say this as politely as I can. This has nothing to do with you. The
He wants
fact that
control. He said in his confessional, I don't see why Kid thinks he has the authority to talk to Trish, or I don't see why Marquez thinks he has the authority to talk to Trish that way.
I
That's
don't
what
even
he claimed made him mad. That man legally has authority. If Trish is hit by a bus, they gonna call Marquez, not Ken.
right.
So I think he, I think he just does stuff for the show. I don't trust any of this,
It's
James.
just, like I said, the fact that he got that irate and that angry over this man because you were irritated. First of all, you have nothing to be irritated for. That is his wife, and she's supposed to go back and forth with him. You should have left the room. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let them handle that. That's between y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and mind my business because, as I said, I'm not married to you. I'm not engaged. I'm just your boyfriend that lives with you. You should have left that. You and Sharon should have went in the other room and let them handle it. I'm not, and I know a lot of people are like, no, he has every right to. No, he doesn't. I'm sorry. A lot of y'all on Instagram that was commenting saying they can't have the right to confront him like that because Trisha's. It doesn't matter. That's not his place.
He's actually, if he cared about the kids, he'd realize that him even behaving that way or responding that way could affect the kids negatively. Like, especially when one of them is old enough to like look into the show, watch it. The thing of it is, until people are divorced, I think it's best that people who are not, actively involved in the divorce should probably just mind their fucking business and stay away. But then it would be hard for Ken to do that because that is technically his girlfriend. But then I also feel like if Ken's going to choose to date women that are legally unavailable to him fully, then he has to understand that you don't get to be that macho man, checking the ex. Like, they're still legally married, they're not divorced, and there's kids involved, and you chose to still be here. So back up, mind your business.
That's how I feel. I
Because
feel
Ken,
like
Ken is only invested because he wants to marry Trish, and he think that if she could get free of Marquez, that she'll probably marry him. I don't think he sees she ain't gonna marry him.
she's not right away. Not right away. And I think that's why she's prolonging this divorce. Because she's just as prolonged as Marquez is. I think she's playing. And I feel like Ken frustrating himself over Marquez when you need to be looking at the person next to you is really what the problem is. So for you to get up and in charge at this man because he's making you upset and angry because from his perspective he didn't see that paper or he doesn't want to see that paper, you can't make him look at something he doesn't want to look at.
They
Like,
arguing about everything but what really needs to happen. What is the point in having this fucking conversation? Like, it doesn't make sense. They arguing about paperwork for the divorce without giving us an update or a status as to what's going on.
right.
Did somebody file that paperwork? Like, what's going on? It's taking too long. Just divorce.
As I said, if y'all wanted to be out this marriage, y'all could have been out this marriage. But I feel like a part of that, I feel like they both have a part. I feel like Trisha has a part in why she's not divorced him or not even made any attempts on her side. And I feel like Marquez, I feel like it's his ego. I feel like his ego is in his way of why he hasn't pulled the plug for it. So both of them are wrong.
Yep.
Yeah. Trisha excused for not getting married right away after her divorce is going to be, oh, I want to plan a really big wedding. That's going to take a few years. No, I think what it is that she's going to say that this divorce, and she's going to have this show as a buffer to that, is that she went through a lot of trauma into this situation, even trying to get out of this marriage. So she's going to prolong that and for as long as she can, because he can't dispute that because it's all over TV now. Ken can't dispute the fact that, she probably did go through hell with Marquez, because I can imagine that marriage was not easy to be dealing with if this is what we're looking at. If we have any idea if this is what he was like then, I could see why she would have some type of reserve or pause, because Marquez is a lot to deal with. So at the same time,
She's also, I think the thing with Trish is hard to deal with, Marquez is hard to deal with, and in my opinion, Ken is also hard to deal with. You got a bunch of difficult motherfuckers just trying to. I don't even know what they tried to do, but it's not
nobody
gonna
knows what
work.
they're
I
trying
wish
to do.
everyone would go their separate ways.
Me too. I wish they all would go their separate ways. I wish they would. I feel like, Ken, you need to stop picking women like this. And then you need to stop being so aggravated with the husband of the lady that because this really should not have anything to do with you. They're divorced, their children. If you're giving to the children, that is fine. If you're buying them cars, then fine. That's your own stupidity for doing that. But you should not have any involvement in their marriage or their marriage woes right now. You shouldn't have anything to say. And I think that that's why I fought Ken a lot in this situation, because at the end of the day, it really has nothing to do with you. This was way before y'all happened. And if you really are angry of why that divorce hasn't happened yet, you need to look at the one person you sleep next to, because she is just as much at fault as he is. And she dragged her feet just like he's dragging his feet now. So to me, she's just as much as to blame as the man you just charged, her husband. That's all I'm saying. So that's pretty much the episode, y'all. We left on a cliffhanger. I think it did get physical between those two, so I'm hoping they show it next week. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'll be recapping it because I will be in recovery, so I don't know what my status will be on, next week. But I will do my best, y'all. Just keep me uplifted in prayer. I had a lot of people viewing, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to Mrs. Best, because any recaps or reviews I don't cover on my channel, we cover on her channel. So you guys do not want to miss it. And I'm going to go ahead and do Real Housewives of Atlanta next, because there really wasn't much to that. So we'll go ahead and get that done, and then I'll see you guys later.